Hi, folks. I'm Brian, and I am on the land of the Cowlitz and Clackamas people in the settlement of Portland, Oregon. And I hope you guys enjoyed the song this past week. I'm going to be singing that for you now. Said the hawk unto the crow one day, "Why do you in mourning stay? I was once in love and I didn't prove fact, and ever since I wear the black. With me rifle diddle, rifle diddly dum. With me rifle diddle, rifle diddly dum. I was once in love and I didn't prove fact, and ever since I wear the black." Next up spoke young Willie Wagtail, "I was once in love and I did prevail. I was once in love and I did prevail, and ever since I wagged my tail. With me rifle diddle, rifle diddly dum. With me rifle diddle, rifle diddly dum. I was once in love and I did prevail, and ever since I wag my tail." Next up spoke the little brown thrush. "She was sitting in yon holly bush. The way to woo, I have heard them say, is to court all night and then sleep the next day. With me rifle diddle, rifle diddly dum. With me rifle diddle, rifle diddly dum. The way to woo, I have heard them say, is to court all night and then sleep all day." Last to speak was the tiny Jen Wren. "Do you know what I'd do if I was a man? In case that one might wriggle and go, I would wear two strings upon my bow. With me rifle diddle, rifle diddly dum. With me rifle diddle, rifle diddly dum. In case that one might wriggle and go, I would wear two strings upon my bow."
River, do you want me to share this time first?
Yeah, I realized I forgot to talk about time in general. So last time what we did is we had timed shares, and we're gonna do that again, but it's pretty mellow. So I brought it doesn't have to be rigid. I think we're gonna do about like 4-ish minutes. And when it gets close, I have these glasses this time, which I'll wave across the screen. And if you need any other kind of um, like if the glasses don't work as a way to help you out, we can address that when it's your share, and we can come up with another way of doing it. So I've been having conversations with people about timeshares and timed shares, and some folks are not into it and others are. And so it's been really interesting because really what we're trying to do for now, like this probably won't be a thing that we continue on with, but for now, we're wanting to just give space to folks, or like I don't want to say like just equal amount, but it's just it's there. Like in our outside world and our cultures that we're involved in, some people are given a lot of room to speak and others aren't. And so as we're building relationship with each other, we're getting to know each other a little bit. We just want to start off this way, and it doesn't have to be super rigid. Um, and but we'll be here for a little bit. Maybe next time we'll move into it just kind of being like popcorn style. But it's just to like support each other and recognize that while we're here, we really want to be in right relationship with each other and give each other the space to speak if people choose to share about their experience. and kind of understand those relationships that might happen out there, and who has the right to talk and who doesn't. And in here, we want all folks to feel welcome with speaking if they choose to do so. So that's kind of why we're doing it, and eventually we'll kind of fade out of it a little bit. Um, but in case you're wondering at all, that's what we're hoping to do. So I will be timing, and I'll put the fabulous glasses across the screen when it's like 30 seconds ish. And we're going to start out with the three of us sharing first as facilitators. And that's really just because it will help us out with editing post this gathering, to be able to like easily be like, okay, we can edit this and throw it up onto Teachable. So it just works for us. So thank you. We'll try to do that today at least. I think that was it around time. And then we have some prompts, which we'll throw up in the chat. So Jeanette wrote something. Do you want to share about it, or do you just want it to be left there?
I was just sort of saying, answering the question about this, the way sometimes learning Irish in that model is. But I just put up the share prompts, and I'll also put the link if you want to see what the language hunting looks like, so you can check it out.
Yeah, it's really fun. And the point of the language hunting is to not know and to be in a place of not knowing, and it's really celebrated. So it's kind of a different way of learning. So our shared prompts, you can share your name, your pronoun, if you know the land that you're on, of the Indigenous peoples land that you're on. If you have an access need, so that can be something like, I'm gonna lie down and close my eyes while I talk. If you feel like sharing those things, or anything else that comes to mind. The questions we have are, how do you relate to silliness? Did the song change your relationship to silliness or play? You're welcome to talk about anything that you like, and you're also welcome to not share anything at all. We really celebrate that as well. So what we're going to do is we'll have the three of us share first, and Jeanette will go first. And then if you want to share, you can put your name in the chat, and we'll just stack it that way. That way we kind of just have a running stack of who feels the call to share. And also, if you wanted to do it and then you don't anymore, you can say no. So with that, I will hand it off to Jeanette.
Okay. It was interesting. I feel like we conceptualize this project as like a spiral. Like, you get introduced to the thing once, and then we do it for the week, and then since it exists ongoing for you, you could just keep doing the same spiral and seeing the new levels you hit each time. And so I'm really feeling that for myself. I'm really feeling that, like, each week is just, I'm skimming the surface of the thing and getting a little bit. But what I noticed this week was I had this like happy little tune just kind of playing in my head randomly throughout the day, and that it added like little, I don't know, jumps to my step, or like there was like this lightness that occasionally would come. And I think I noticed that after a year of spending most of my time not seeing people, that my silliness has like shrunken, which is weird. I would have used to live alone and my silliness kind of came out more, but something about not seeing other people in person has meant that I'm like less silly. So it was fun to have a little silly song playing in my mind, and occasionally have those moments where I was like not feeling silly, but there was like a weird bird song happening in my head. So I could like occasionally tap into that. And as I was listening just now, I was trying to think of like, where is silly in my body? And I thought, I think silly used to live in my body lower down, but because I've been so not silly, it like lives more up here. And I was thinking it maybe like in my head in places where it feels a little bit like lighter and higher. But I remember when silliness used to feel like more in my like the center of my body. And I was wondering if that's maybe just from a year of being like less out and more just in. So yeah, I noticed it kind of woke me up a little bit. and brought it back into my life. And I'm excited for the next level of this spiral. So check.
All right, let's take a moment, a breath or a stretch in between people's shares.
I also forgot to say where I am. I said it last time. I'm in a town called Sumas. It's its original name, and I'm on the land of Nuchalneth people.
Thank you. Okay, I'll go. I had a really interesting week because I felt really stressed in general about like the amount of work I was doing in all my projects. And so I also was like, I noticed I was resisting wanting to check out the song because I was like, oh, I'm like so involved. We're having all these meetings and all these things. And this was like, so I was like, I don't know. I just kept waking up and being like, oh, I didn't listen to it yesterday. Oh gosh, and then it just kept going. And so over the weekend, I listened to it, and it was so just the Brian, the way you sing it with the change, the I don't even know the light part of it was so delightful, and I was so I was like, I can't believe like I was putting so much pressure on myself to like I can't listen to the song unless I watch all the videos or something. Like I have to do all the things and then I could somehow like earn listening to the song. And I didn't even realize I was doing that. And so it just felt huge, felt like overwhelming and big. And then I listened to the song and it was so like fluttery and easy. I was like, oh, I wish I was listening to it this week. I wish I had that part of my stressful week. This actually is really sweet and nice. Um, and as you sang it now, this time, yeah, it was the same reminder of like just helping myself to not put so much on myself in order to do something, and just realizing this thing that I have that continually happens with things that I enjoy, that if I don't like do every single piece of it, then somehow I'm not allowed to be with it. And um yeah, and so it was cool because that came up and then I got to explore that piece with curiosity of like, wow, this keeps happening. There's this thing that I do that gets in the way of my pleasure, really. And silliness to me in general, I don't know, I feel like it lives in my belly, like belly laughs. I think about like the deep belly laughs that are like make me feel alive. Um, and in my faith, I feel like it's here too. And I really love it and I celebrate it and I really want it to be a part of my world. And so I think that was like another reason why I just felt sad about this week, where I was like, this is something I love and enjoy. And I was like, I got in my own way about it. Um, and yeah, so I don't know. I think it lives in my belly. And I think of those times where I laugh really, really hard with people, like the kind of like loud cackling, like gasping for breath, but you're like, you feel amazing, like you feel lit up and alive, and you feel like your whole body and you're breathing in a totally different way. And you don't care, and you're all somehow in flow with each other. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's a thing is like relationship to people as silliness too. And um, really wanting that. Yeah, I think that's it. My time's up. I'll throw the little glasses at myself. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, stretch. Take a breath, do what you gotta do. Right on. I think it's Brian's turn. I like having this microphone.
It's really elevating your very calming voice. I'm Brian, and I've already mentioned that I'm in Southeast Portland, on the land of the Clackamas and Cowlitz people. And for me, this song is a bit of a roller coaster in my body when it comes to singing, because if you guys might have, depending on how much you played with the song this last week, it just has such a range that comes up and goes down and comes up and goes down. And myself, just like River, I feel a lot of silliness in my belly, in particular the sides here that tend to be the most ticklish, which is I find to be curious. Um, I thinking about playfulness and silliness. I was very I've always been kind of a very playful, silly person my whole life. And there, I had a friend mention one time to me when I wasn't being playful and silly, and they'd asked like what happened, and I had never considered that there had been a change in me. But upon further reflection, after my friend brought this up, I realized that I'd gone through several years of just not very happy times, and that had affected my relationship with silliness. And so, a song like this, that really I kind of think of a roller coaster, not like the big scary roller coasters, but maybe the roller coasters that you would ride with your young niece and nephew in the children's part of an amusement park, where it just feels good. It raises your belly a little bit. You scream, you raise your hands up, right, and kind of come down and go up and come down, which is for me way more enjoyable than the lifting out of your seat. Oh my god, I'm going to fall out, and then screaming your head off. So that's kind of how I feel this song relates within my body. And the silliness of the song, I think, really it plays out in my agogic approach to the singing, and that agogic is this speeding up and slowing down process. And in traditional singing, that's it's really natural. Not everyone sings that way. There are some traditions that are fairly metered within the Irish tradition, especially the ballad English language songs of Ulster province. But for me, I kind of really savor the cadence of language, and then like drawing out certain parts of a melody line or some of the lyrics, and then speeding up to kind of pull you into the transition. And for me, the chorus with all the vocables, or the portabale, or the puss music, or um, lilting, that's the English word for it, lilting, is a way to kind of just like give a give a little bit of a break to the narrative, and kind of just explore all the silliness that comes out in the voice when you're saying things like rife a diddle diddly diddle, right? It just kind of brings a bit of joy, especially to the face, to the face. And when I'm singing, just as part of this movement up from the top of my head, said the hawk unto the crow one day, why do you in mourning stay? I was once in love, and I did prevail, and ever since I wagged my tail, with me rifle diddle, rifle diddly dum. So it moves up and down and up and down, and for me, it's just a joy to sing. I feel it kind of maybe knocking off all the cobwebs, knocking off the dust and my internal furniture in myself and in my body. So I really appreciate that, and it's nice to be able to shake yourself maybe from the rigors of adulthood when we're not supposed to be funny. So I'm glad I had the opportunity to share that with you guys. All right, that's me. I'm going to stop recording now, and then I believe Asia's next. They said